chef, you have to lead the team. And all you guys are into a situation now that what you're doing, you're going out proving to the world and representing a country as ambassadors. Throughout my career, I've always been an ambassador of myself, wherever I am, in any cuisine or any country that I am. I always try to make sure that I understand traditions and customs and be aware of them. Whether I'm in Kenya, I'm in Bangladesh, someone just asked me to go to Nepal. I'm always aware of the culture of what goes on. And I almost sort of melt into it. As you can tell from my accent a little bit, I've been here for a few days. I'm saying a few words backwards then. But to become a great chef, you have to think about what it is in the past. And these are the things that I'm trying to teach all the younger chefs today. You have to understand where you came from a scaffier. How many people have a scaffier? Not one of you. You know what a scaffier is? There was a Bible written by August Scaffier. Now, I've prepared 75% of the recipes that are in there. Maybe not all to the way that August had made them, but it's a true understanding of going through and looking at the classics and the way that they were put together way back in his time. Before there were restaurants, there were just bars. Food was an afterthought. Now, today, the food is the beginning, and mixologists were just bartenders. Bartenders were bartenders. Now, in 2000s and going forward, now they've become mixologists. Now they're adding juniper berries and flowers and different things to cocktails. Elaborating, we're going into different simple syrups, whether it's ginger and the like of that. So mixologists are now becoming chefs in the alcohol part of it, from New York, Manhattan, Chicago, San Francisco. So now, chefs are under the gun to make stuff that's going to match up with the cocktails that go out. Always being understanding of the dish that you're presenting to the customer and everything that goes along with it. But as a chef, the one thing I say to you can cook your butt off. You can make me a great dish. But if I get it to the table and I'm sitting in the dining room and the servers aren't getting me what I need out there, that dish is never going to be good. So as a chef, you have to be team captain and team leader for the whole of the staff. And always be conscious aware of everything that's going on. Now, there's a lot of hot-head chefs throughout the history of Louis Paladin was one of the best. You'd scream at a waiter, make him feel bad. Taking time to do pre-meals before you go into service and sit and talk with them. Everybody's a team. They're just as important. You're back here sweating in the heat, they're out there in the air conditioning. There's always the front of the house, back of the house war. Who does what? This, that, the other. Hey, give me the ice, do this for me. Oh, you screwed it up. You put it out there. This was supposed to be served at 6 o'clock and you put it at 12 o'clock. These things are missing from the culinary world today. I've watched it all disappear during my time coming up from the 80s and going forward. Working with Louis, working with Charlie Trotter, Thomas Keller, you guys know who he is, right? The French Laundry, everybody knows that one, famous man. Paul Bocuse, Daniel Ballard. Now, the one thing I understand about these guys is that they keep that elevation because they're taken from Auguste Escoffier. Caterina Medici, anybody know that name? She was the one that created us eating with these, rather than with just a fork or two tongs in your hands. So she created the service in her escape from Italy to get away from the persecution, went to France, and became the etiquette queen. Then you've got Auguste Escoffier that went through and created every way possible, from a lobster to a fish to a salmon to a tuna to a duck to foie gras. He was the guy that masterminded all this along with all of his people, created the academy. Now, no matter whether or not you train here, you train at the academy, you go to CIA, you go to California Culinary Institute in San Francisco, or Fort Lauderdale Art Institute. They can only teach you so much so far. For you to be able to go out into what I found here, what I want to be a part of, in a very strong way, is this country is unique in any place that I've been any times around the world. You have every ingredient in the world at your fingertips that blows every other place that I've ever been away. In between the mango, in between the papaya, in between this lionfish, lobsters, rainbow runners, which are good, you call them salmon, the chandon or culantro in Guatemala, or cilantro in the States, or Chinese parsley in Asia. The chandon is much better. That's a wild weed. You just have things come up that are great and fabulous, and it's just a weed here that nobody even thinks about. You got to go out there and you got your own little garden. You can grow it. You got your places where you go and get your food. You investigate where the food comes from. What's it called? The agouti. That little thing running around. Yeah.